Hey guys, welcome back to Critical Flick. Today I'm reviewing Bloodlines, The Jersey Devil Curse. So Bloodline, The Jersey Devil Curse is a new documentary that is streaming that goes through the origins and the lore of the Jersey Devil, also known as the Leeds Devil. And I was really interested to check this one out because as someone who is from rural southeastern Pennsylvania, I'd always heard about the Jersey Devil and I always thought it was a really interesting story of such a weird creature. And I've always been really interested in cryptozoology in general. So naturally, I really wanted to see what was going to be in this documentary. I have to say, I was pleasantly surprised. This documentary does a good job of balancing educational information as well as having some kind of like horror entertainment value to it, because it does have these little mini films inside of the documentary where it kind of outlines some of the different origins of the Jersey Devil, some of the different witness accounts of the Jersey Devil. A little film that takes place during kind of the satanic panic of the 80s when everyone thought kids were going out in the woods and summoning this creature, summoning the devil, and everyone was getting all caught up in this hysteria of the time. There's another short film that's kind of a black and white silent film, and it kind of takes place during that era of kind of the origins of that part of the Jersey Devil. And there's even the one that goes very back to like the original origin story of the Jersey Devil, having it being birthed by Mother Leeds and that kind of crazy event that's all around that one, kind of the classic tale origin of it. All in all, I think the little mini films are actually really well done. They have some decent visual effects. The CGI isn't that bad, and they also do a good job of masking it in darkness, not making it look so obviously like kind of run-of-the-mill CG. It looks pretty decent, a lot better than I expected it to. But I think where this film actually really shines is the historians, the people that are giving accounts of this area, of the Jersey Pine Barrens, of kind of the growth of this story, how it started, how maybe people have grown it to be the story of this winged, hooved, horse-headed monster that's flying around, how it started off in the early days of the Quakers and their conflicts with Daniel Leeds, and how that kind of built up the idea of the Leeds Devil, the devil in the Pine Barrens. So I really thought it was fascinating that it dives into not just kind of the lore of the cryptid of the Jersey Devil, but kind of the origins of the story and why it even came about in the first place. A lot of cryptozoological documentaries tend to be very fantastical. They tend to have these huge, ridiculous things happening where there's this like grainy footage of a monster or people claiming 100% this is real. There's no other explanation for this thing. This actually dives into kind of the political implications of maybe how it was started, the social implications of how it was started, and how it became almost like a boogeyman, kind of a character similar to Santa Claus in a way, where it's just like, if you do anything bad, the Jersey Devil's going to get you. Like children, early on in our history were like, we can't do anything bad because the Jersey Devil is going to catch us. It became like this catch-all creature. And I think it's really interesting how it dives into like the human psyche of taking these stories, these classic folk tales, and kind of blowing them in and out of proportion depending on what's happening during that time in history. The film's edited pretty well because, like I said, a lot of other documentaries that deal with kind of mythical creatures or cryptozoological creatures, they kind of bury the lead and they're kind of dragging you along thinking you're going to get some kind of crazy evidence by the end. It's an investigation. It's guys out in the woods with night vision trying to find Bigfoot. This one really is about the history of the creature, the history of the lore, and the history of the legend in general. And you really feel like you learn something along the way. It doesn't feel like it's just like a overblown story about this creature. It really does dive into the history of the region and the history of the legend. But like I said, it balances that kind of dusty academia with having those kind of short horror films almost put into it. So you do get a little bit of that like background story and kind of a dramatization of what might have happened or what people say happened. And then you also get kind of the more factual evidence, what we can actually nail down is where this creature originated from. So overall, Bloodlines, The Jersey Devil Curse, I think it's a really solid documentary. If you are a fan of cryptozoology like I am, if you're from the region, you just want to learn a little more about the history of this area, I think it's definitely worth checking out. It's just around an hour long, so it's not a huge investment. I know you can rent it on streaming, so like I said, if you're interested in this stuff, I would definitely recommend checking it out. And if you do check it out, let me know what you thought about it. How's it compare to other things you've seen in the past? Obviously, we get stuff from the Discovery Channel or stuff from the History Channel that kind of makes these huge, ridiculous claims. And while that can be fun and interesting to watch, I think actually diving into the history and the stories of what took place in this time is a little bit more interesting than just kind of found footage stuff. So again, thanks for watching. Remember to like and subscribe. See you guys next time.